Fox News alert, OT Olympic hero Jack Hughes is back to work. After 72 hours of partying with his gold medal, he flew home to Jersey for his first game back with the Devils.
I'm so proud and I'm so happy that the men's and women's USA hockey teams brought gold medals back to the United States of America. And you guys are making me emotional, but I'm so proud to represent the New Jersey Devils organization.
Jack didn't have time to fix his teeth because he had a long night. Trump broke a record for doing his favorite thing, talking. Last night was the longest State of the Union in history. POTUS clocking in at an hour and 48 minutes, Trump beating the last record held by himself. We went from having a president who couldn't talk to one who won't stop. And Mark Burnett, he better watch out.
People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up.
One of the players went in with one medal and left with two.
Think of it, 46 shots on gold, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, you practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question based on their vote and my vote. And in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Shaping up to be a unifying night, right? We're all agreeing on stuff, right? No. Democrats went off the rails. Al Green got kicked out in less than 5 minutes into the speech, and actually 4 to be exact. The squad showed up with ice pins and got real nasty, all because Trump asked them a simple question.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Trump says the squad should be fitted for straitjackets. Quote, when you watch low IQ Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib as they screamed uncontrollably last night at the very elegant State of the Union, such an important and beautiful event, they had the bulging, bloodshot eyes of crazy people, lunatics, mentally deranged, and sick who, frankly, look like they should be institutionalized. How strong was the TDS? They wouldn't stand up for the Ukrainian girl stabbed to death on a train.
Mrs. Zaretsky, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
Last year, they didn't stand for a black kid with cancer. This year, girls are getting murdered, and they're still glued to their seats. What's the point of wearing a Ukraine pin if you won't stand up when a Ukrainian girl's killed? Everyone in that chamber should be icing their knees today after popping up and down, up and down, up and down. They couldn't stand for widows like Erica Kirk. Half the chamber was chanting Charlie's name. Trump gave a Medal of Honor to a 100-year-old Navy fighter pilot, a living legend who helped take down the Soviets. A guardsman was shot in the head by an Afghan refugee in D.C. and survived. Trump gave him a Purple Heart. What an honor. That guy took a bullet to protect the Democrats who weren't clapping. These aren't partisan stories. They're American stories that almost make you cry. But Democrats are falling asleep, literally. Newsom said, quote, well, that was boring. Kamala, who's running against Gavin, says, well, I thought it was pretty exciting.
There was entertainment value to what he did, but in terms of any substantive value to the people of America, I'd say it was lacking in every way.
Can you imagine Kamala Harris's State of the Union? She'd invite the women's hockey team, but really they'd be dudes. Pelosi was ready to run it back and rip up the speech.
I thought the speech was lazy. You know, it's one thing to acknowledge patriotism and people getting well and everything when you have absolutely nothing to do with their courage or the rest, but you spend an hour and a half doing it. What is the state of the nation?
Maybe Nancy's just mad that Trump called her out.
Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it.
Afterwards on CNN, Nancy couldn't make it make sense.
The inference he wants to draw is there was something wrong with that, which there wasn't. And if there was, people get prosecuted for it. For a long time now, we've been trying to pass this law. It doesn't have, now it has more support than it had before. And
Elizabeth Warren stood up and applauded. Elizabeth Warren stood and applauded tonight when the president talked about it.
Well, we all did. I did too.
Last night showed us exactly what Democrats stand for. Not you. They didn't stand up for putting American citizens over illegals, voter ID, a secure border, the lowest crime rate in 125 years, locking up criminals, stopping fraud, winning the war on drugs, or trying to. No tax on tips, even though they tried to steal that idea. At one point, Trump said he was going to try to stop teachers from secretly transitioning children behind their parents' back. Democrats just sat there.
These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Democrats couldn't even stand for angel moms. Fetterman was like, come on, guys.
I stood up and I clapped to recognize the family that lost their daughter, the Ukrainian girl that was stabbed to death, in North Carolina. And I stood up and I clapped that political prisoner from Venezuela. How you can't celebrate those kinds of things. And even more the political things like Erica Kirk. I stood up and I clapped for her as well, too. Now, here, can't we just be more kind to a widow?
Last night, Trump made his case, and the way Democrats reacted proved his point. America's back, and the left can't stand it. 47 was loose, he was relaxed, he was confident, while he got yelled at by hysterical Somalis and guys with ponytails. He's a New Yorker. He's used to it. But the country saw two sides. Trump said, I'm here, and you're all the way over there. What's your problem? Even the media agrees.
One of the priorities for the president was to make sure Americans after this speech had a sense that the opposition party was off the rails, was crazy, their terminology, not mine. Many of the contrasts the president articulated tonight were to drive that message forward, that they can't even applaud basic common sense things.
Now, if they looked crazy inside, wait until you see what they did outside. Since 70 Democrats didn't show up to their jobs, we caught them playing hooky. Ribbit.
Tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
It was Noah's Ark. They had giraffes, too. Watch.
I'm fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, hey, Miss Mr. Tangerine Man. Get rid of brown people from me. I'm Aryan white. There ain't no place I'm going to.
And just like halftime, it was in Espanol.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. Imprison us all. Hey. Woo!
Yeah, that was Joy Reid. She didn't wear a costume, but she did fall in love.
We love a fairy tale creature. I just want to thank you for being creative and being in this space. Please give a round of applause to the yellow cat, everybody, please. No king's cat, no king's kitty over there.
Then everybody just started crashing out.
What he's going to do for the next 4 hours is not normal. Him. Him. 1, 2, 3. Trump. The midterms are happening.
We know yesterday was TDS Tuesday. We know. And we're not asking for a lot. We're not asking you to throw on a MAGA hat. We're not even asking you to vote for the guy. Maybe just stand up for a widow. Maybe you can clap for 0 border crossings. Inflation's lower. Golf clap. Or maybe clap like this girl. Here's their pickle. If they clap, it makes Trump look popular, and they'll hate him. Now, if they don't clap, everyone watching on TV will think they're crazy and hate America. So that's why 70 didn't go. They can't win. It doesn't matter what they do, because the president gave the best State of the Union speech of his entire career. He owned the room, ticked off the wins, laid out the future, celebrated the American people, and exposed the left. Even CNN said the man had a hot hand.
Look at the growth President Trump made over the speech. So pre-speech, it was 54% of speech watchers said his policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. After the speech, that number goes up 10 percentage points. So Donald Trump made some progress with people watching the speech.
We do begin tonight with a message heard across the country and around the world. Take a look.
My fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
All night, the president championed the resilience, the spirit of you, the American people. Democrats in the room, they sat on their hands, scowling, groaning like the angry, petulant children that they now have become as a party. It was an unforgettable visual that perfectly contrasted President Trump's leadership with what now has become heartless, soulless, deranged, anti-American, a Democratic Party that has lost its way. Just take a look at your screen. They didn't stand for the mother whose young daughter was stabbed to death by an illegal immigrant. They didn't stand for the 5-year-old girl who was nearly killed during a car crash caused by an illegal alien. They didn't stand for the mother of a Ukrainian refugee stabbed to death in North Carolina by a career criminal. They didn't stand for Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. Only about half of them were willing to stand for the U.S. men's gold medal winning hockey team. And during what I believe was the moment of the night, Democrats simply refused to stand up and reaffirm their duty to you, the American people. And I promise you, this will be in many a campaign ad this midterm election year.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
They should be ashamed of themselves. After that incredible moment of clarity, Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib, who was wearing the F-ICE pin, were so enraged that they started screaming and yelling at the president from their seats. But it gets worse. At one point, even President Trump seemed surprised that Democrats refused to stand up and find common ground on a very basic, fundamental issue. Watch this.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Amazing. Gentlemen. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
President's right. Absolutely insane. They are crazy. Now, let's see. Democrats want to dissolve our borders. They want amnesty. They want to prevent ICE from deporting violent criminal illegals. They want to tax everybody into oblivion. They want to give your tax dollars to illegals. And by the way, they support child sex reassignment surgery, and they want to ban your gas-powered leaf blower. And by the way, with the exception of a few, they are as crazy as President Trump said last night. And we haven't even showed you the Democrats outside the State of the Union, dozens boycotting the address, and instead attended alternate events to highlight what America would be like, if you will, if Democrats, in fact, ever got back in charge. Take a look.
I'm a mother. I am a physician, and I have a flag. And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you, thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
I'm fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white. There ain't no place I'm going to."
Is that a furry convention? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Now, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saw all of this and then went on national TV to accuse Trump supporters of cult-like behavior. Take a look.
Yeah, the cult-like behavior of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle is a complete and total abdication of their responsibility to conduct themselves like a separate and co-equal branch of government. But what we've seen repeatedly from these folks is that they regularly bend the knee to Donald Trump and behave like they are nothing more than reckless rubber stamps for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Minority leader in name only. The other minority leader in name only, Chucky Schumer, claiming that it was President Trump who was in a state of delusion. Okay, take a look.
Last night was not America's State of the Union. It was Donald Trump's state of delusion. For 2 long hours, the president stood in the House chamber congratulating himself, inflating his own ego, but offering no solutions to our country's many problems. He's in a bubble. He doesn't even have a clue about what the average American family is going through. Donald Trump patted himself on the back so many times, I thought he'd fall down.
Talk about delusion. You really can't make this up. You can't put this cast of characters together. Now, Chuck then went on to say we need amnesty for 11 million illegals that didn't respect our laws, our border, and our sovereignty. Take a look.
What would an immigration deal look like between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate?
Well, we had a good model in 2013, as you may remember, bipartisan. John McCain and I headed the Gang of Eight. We had 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, including Marco Rubio, who's now gone to the other side on this. But we could come up with a bill like that. It toughens up the border. It gives a path to citizenship, a long, tough path to citizenship for 11 million people who are here.
I have an immigration deal. Go home, self-deport, and then you'll have a chance to come in legally. One Democratic congressman even accusing President Trump of racism for asking Americans, elected officials, to stand up for you, the American people. Take a look.
What did you think about that moment when the president was asking Democrats to stand up for American citizens during that part of the speech when he was talking about immigration and immigration enforcement efforts?
I think you can agree with the what, like standing up for American citizens, but I disagree with the how. And so it's always about how do we bring our country together, but not stand on the backs of others. There's thinly veiled racist language, anti-immigrant language in what he was asking, and that was uncomfortable.
All right, that is the party of the radical Democrats.
Something I don't already know. Good evening, everyone. So President Trump gave his State of the Union to Congress last night. Meanwhile, in Delaware, Joe Biden stood before a mailbox and said, "My fellow Armenians." At just under an hour and 48 minutes, Trump's speech was the longest State of the Union in American history. It was so long that Rashida Tlaib had a 10 o'clock shadow. Because she's hairy. It was so long, Maxine Waters had to walk that thing on her head 3 times. Classic Trump, though. He paused 12 times for applause and 9 times to bomb narco speedboats. And pretty smart to loosen up the crowd, he declared Nancy Pelosi's face a historical monument. You can actually picnic on her forehead. In other news, different news, Rosie O'Donnell's daughter, Chelsea, has been accused of assault after touching a man's genitals.
Hello?
She's facing 2 counts of impersonating Don Lemon. True, the daughter was accused of grabbing a man's testicles. Asked how the victim was feeling, Rosie said, "They're still a little sore."
Oh, it's her testicles. Yeah, mom's testicles.
New York City Mayor Mamdani is facing controversy for downplaying the actions of a mob throwing snowballs at the NYPD, saying it just looked like a snowball fight, but then added, "Plus it's good practice for stoning Jews." Hey, it's not my fault. The Epstein files revealed a photo of Stephen Hawking grinning as he sat between 2 bikini-clad women. Wow, I didn't recognize him without the chair. Later, in a flat, mechanical voice, he said, "Bitches stole my wallet."
That's a good mechanical voice.
It was a good mechanical voice. And finally, scientists may have discovered the world's oldest butthole after unearthing the nearly 300-million-year-old impression of a reptile's ass in Germany, causing one man to book a flight to Oktoberfest. 2 lemon jokes. All right, so it's time for
Donald Trump. We don't deserve him.
Last night, Donald Trump rattled off wins for almost 2 hours. It was the longest State of the Union in history, beating Bill Clinton's record, who had Congress on the edge of their seats and an intern under his. Trump listed so many results that it started to get boring. The booming economy, crime rates dropping, energy dominance, wars ending instead of multiplying, girls' locker rooms no longer needing urinal cakes. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it.
In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, "Please, please, please, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much." And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again.
Man, true. There was so much winning that about half the Democrats boycotted the event. But perhaps they were taking turns giving Kilmar Obrega Garcia a foot rub. It's weird, since it's their job to be there. You can't skip work just because you don't like somebody. It's like me skipping the 5 because I hate half of Harold Ford.
Whoa.
The white half.
Yeah. That makes 2 of us.
Hi, Harold, if you're watching. But in their place, what an upgrade, as Trump invited the U.S. men's hockey team. So, elected officials don't show up, but hungover Olympians with missing teeth did. They should have sat in the Democrat seats. I mean, Jerry Nadler wasn't there. His seat is the exact size of a regulation NHL bench. Although first, you'd have to call in hazmat to destroy the cushion. But some absent Dems heroically gathered for counter events that would make our forefathers proud.
I defy Trump and his authoritarian project with the Portland Frog Brigade.
Honest told us, imprison us all day, imprison us all.
And to press this country to the border. I stuck at the border. Go Trump! Go Trump!
I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, there ain't no place I'm going to."
Wow, the only thing that show was missing was Chuck Barris and a giant gong. I was waiting for a voice to come over the PA system and say, "Time for medication, please." Back in the chamber, Trump detailed a comeback tour for common sense, most notably the lightning-fast end to the invasion at our border, where people charged through the gates like they were fleeing a Kilmeade book signing. But this is where Trump dared to make Democrat allegiances known.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So let's get this straight. A 100-year-old World War II veteran or a permanently crippled hero helicopter pilot, who were both injured defending America, could struggle to their feet. But these scumbags do their best Stephen Hawking impression when they should have stood immediately. F them and the seatless pogo sticks they rode in on. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Don't knock the seatless pogo stick. So take note, if you want the Dems to care about you, just get a face tattoo and sneak over the border. Hell, if you just sell drugs and traffic people, they'll meet you for happy hour. Because their priorities lie not with you, but with the corrupt. Cue Ilhan Omar, who foamed at the mouth as Trump detailed the blatant fraud of her fellow Somalians. The look on her face, it's like she's just smelled Somali food for the first time. I haven't seen Ilhan that mad since her brother asked for a divorce. Worse, as Trump honored the mother of Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian woman brutally murdered by a repeat offender, the Dems, who made loads of speeches on Ukraine, kept their butts stuck in their seats. And when Trump spoke of the mutilation of our kids, the Dems were as silent as Joe Biden's pulse.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
But I guess that's how you know trans women aren't really women, because nobody said anything. But the media and top Dems aren't familiar with reality. They probably thought the speech was lazy.
I thought the speech was lazy. You know, it's one thing to acknowledge patriotism and people getting well and everything when you have absolutely nothing to do with their courage.
Slowing down markedly for long stretches of the speech that were essentially sort of violence porn.
When you ramble mostly incoherently for 2 hours, is that technically still a speech, or does it at some point become a conniption? We have a nutjob wannabe king who's doing everything he can to censor opinions he doesn't want to hear.
What's a conniption? I don't know, Jimmy. Who is Trump censoring? Certainly not you. Your late-night talk show has become Marxist propaganda coming from a social climbing jerk-off. So Tuesday night, you saw two versions of America. The one that wants a strong, proud, prosperous nation, and the one that despises success and refuses to admit their party's failures. Trump's speech wasn't just a victory lap. It's a roadmap to the golden age. And for those who hate being part of a winning country, I say go back to where you came from, which is sadly an office that we pay for.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.